In this tutorial, I want to share with you how to create an album on the TPS Teachers Network. An album is a great way to collect not just images, but all types of primary sources from the Library of Congress website and other websites. First thing you want to think about is where you want that album to reside. If you want people within a group to be able to get to that album and see it quite easily, you can create that album in a group. And so you do that by clicking on whatever group you want to go to. In this case, I'll go to the TPS Commons. And from the Group Options tab, I'm going to select Create Album. Now, if I would like my album to be a little more private, to reside where not everyone is going to stumble across it, I'm going to instead probably create that album on my profile page. So I'm clicking on my profile, scrolling down and clicking on the Photos icon. And that is where I will find a Create Album option. You see here I have a few albums already created. We'll create a new one. And to create an album, we're going to give it a name. And I have a group of resources from the Andersonville prison camp from the Civil War. And here you can also select who can actually see this. The entire TPS Teachers Network, just friends on the network, or only you. I'm going to leave it set so everyone can see it. And since others can see it, I'm also going to tag it so that they have a way to find it. And this album is appropriate, I would say, for, actually not for 3-5, for middle school and high school. Subject area, social studies history. And for my custom tags, I'll do U.S. history, Civil War, Andersonville prison camp, and create my album. You'll get notification that your album's created, but you'll notice here that there are no images available. There are two ways to import images. The first ones are images from the Library of Congress website. And as I mentioned before, it's not just images. This will work with sheet music, maps, manuscripts as well. So I'm going to click on Import LOC.gov image. And it's asking you to simply paste in the bibliographic link. And the bibliographic link, if we look on this particular map, is the link that has the term item or resources in the URL, and also has not only the image, but also all of the bibliographic data. And we'll see in just a moment why that's important. I'm going to copy the URL, paste it, and click Add Link. And you'll notice here that it not only grabbed that image from the website, but it also grabbed the title and the reference notes. So it started to grab some of that bibliographic information. I'm going to add that to a current album. And we've just added our first image. So it's just that easy when you're doing Library of Congress images or related materials. I'll show you here what an actual image looks like. Photo. This would work just as well with a drawing or any other type of image. I'm going to also try sheet music, and you'll notice here that this is a multi-page document of sheet music. And when I add the link, I'm only going to see the front page of that sheet music as well as the bibliographic data, but I'm going to have a link that's going to allow me then to get back to that primary source and all of the pages. So again, this is a great place to collect all of these things together, but also be able to get back to the original. And this is a manuscript. This is actually a group of manuscripts, 73 pages. And so if, for example, you were creating this for students or you wanted to leave a note for yourself, in the notes here, you might say see page 54. And so you can go through and alter these titles and alter these reference notes. So you might not want to give that much information to students. So you might alter the title. Instead of the actual reference notes, you may decide to delete those and instead pose some questions that you want them thinking about as they click through and go to the source and start to analyze the source. So you can start to edit and modify what goes along with the imagery right here. So you can see we've added in images, sheet music, a map, manuscripts. All these work really well. And the only thing you can't import in this way off of the Library of Congress website that I've found are newspapers, films, audio files. Those do not work. And so let me show you how you can include those in your album, as well as this works for any other material, any other resource, image or otherwise, outside of the Library of Congress website also. So what you want to do first, and what I've already done, is to take a screenshot of whatever it is you're wanting to add into this album. So in this case, I've just taken a screenshot of the front page or the headline, the title of a particular newspaper. And I want to add a newspaper page along with this group from the Alexandria Gazette. So I have my image, and I'm going to click on Upload Other Images. This is going to be just a drag and drop. This does have to be a JPEG file. It cannot be a PNG file. And I'm going to start my upload. And I can do this multiple times, but once I'm finished, I can go back and view my album. Now you know there was no bibliographic data with that, so what I want to do is click on Links and Notes, and I want to add that data. So I'm going to add the URL where I have that newspaper page from, and under the notes, I could have guiding questions. In this case, I'm going to just put the newspaper name and the date. And I'm going to save that. So this works with newspapers, film, anything you can grab a screenshot of on the library's website or off of the library's website. So I have my album here, and now what if I want to share this album with students? I want a student to be able to access this group of primary sources. I want to send this to a colleague. How can I do that if they're not on the TPS Teachers Network? And the way you want to do that is export the album. So I'm going to click on Export Album. It's going to ask which of these items I want to export. I'm going to select all of them since this is just a small group. It's going to ask for a name. And I can change the order of these if I would want to as well. But you'll notice here not just the image, but also the reference link and the notes that are there. So all of that is going to come into this album that I'm going to share out. And I see a mock-up right here, but I can export this as a PDF or a Word document. I'll export as a PDF. And if I click on that to open that up, I'll see my PDF that then I could send out, share in whatever way with colleagues or students. The great thing about these PDFs or the Word document is you are going to see that you have a large image as a great starting point for whoever's looking at this, as well as whatever data you decided to give them, the title, the reference information, and a link that they're then going to be able to click on to get to the particular document. Let's try that one more time. I think I clicked on that too soon to open up. Here we go. So here's our large image, here's our description that we have, and we have a link that will lead us to the Library of Congress page, or whatever link we provided, and they'll be able to explore and look at that much more carefully and more closely. And if I scroll down my PDF, I can see that I have images of all of these pieces, including the newspaper that I added in as well. So the albums page is, or the album creation is a great way to collect resources together and share those out from the TPS Teachers Network with students and colleagues.